All right, hello. Welcome to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
And I'm your co-host, Dylan Boyle.
Welcome back, Dylan. We're going into Thanksgiving week. We got a bunch of fun games coming on. We're going to do a 6-leg parlay instead of a 4-leg parlay. We'll get into that at the end. And most importantly, man, the Super Bowl rematch. Eagles, Chiefs,
Wow.
and
Just getting right into it. Why not?
just get right into it, man.
With a game like this, you have to.
I know. We have to talk about
most
this
important
right
game of the week. And I was looking back at a stat, and so every Super Bowl rematch, like the season after, I think back to like 2015, that Super Bowl team wins. So the record has been broken, man.
So the Super Bowl winner's been winning the
Yes, correct.
rematch. Wow, surprising.
Yes, and we were with the Eagles, so you know. Maybe you guys should listen to us.
Listen to us. No,
it was a great game.
Look,
it was a great game.
Yeah, it really was. And really, this defined what the Eagles have been all season. What they do is they struggle. You know, they sometimes trail, and then somehow they end up with scoring more points than the other team. You're like, how did the Eagles win that game? They got outplayed. Again, outplayed for 3 quarters. And look, Isaiah Pacheco is a complete weapon on this team. He's probably the second best weapon other than Kelsey. He
Absolutely.
had it going on the ground, and the Chiefs got off to a hot start, 17-7 at halftime. And then they don't score another point in the second half. And you've talked about this. They cannot score in the second half.
No, they can't. I think, what was it? Against the Dolphins, they didn't score in the second half.
Nope.
Against the Broncos, they didn't score in the second half.
Nope.
And
There's
this
another.
game, too.
I think there was another team, too.
There definitely was that we're missing out.
Yeah.
So they just can't finish. And I don't blame them either because they don't have that key factor where you know they're going to get it done.
Kelsey's getting older, so they're probably
Exactly.
They're
So
probably double covering
when
him.
you have games where Kelsey is kind of, you know, in the back seat, which is going to happen since he's getting older.
Right.
Who else is going to carry the torch?
I'll tell you who's not. Scantling.
No, he's not.
So
he puts it out.
Huge drop. And look, the Eagles turned the ball over twice in the red zone, too. There was a stupid interception by Mahomes, and then there was a fumble. So, you know, they had opportunities and to score more, and they let it squander. And Jalen Hurts in the first half was under constant duress. You know, this great offensive line was struggling a little bit. But they picked it up in the second half. And really, I think what everyone else, including us, feels about this game is the Chiefs lost the game because of drops. You know,
because of drops. Like I saw this meme. So you kept on saying like it's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault, basically.
Pretty much, it was the opposite.
It really wasn't Mahomes' fault.
No, it really wasn't. But what he said to the press was the opposite. You know, and he's a great teammate. He's not going to throw
That's just how he plays.
He's not going to throw his teammates under the bus. But you know, for every catch Justin Watson had, he had an equal drop. The entire game. I'm like, I remember we were watching the game yesterday. Well, you know, we posted. We're gonna actually just letting you guys know. This episode's coming out on Wednesday, not Thursday this week. So it'll be the day before. But Tuesday,
little Thanksgiving special.
So Monday when we watched this game, I was telling you, we saw Justin Watson come on the screen. I'm like, I feel like this guy's had a lot of drops this season, and then he had like 3 other drops right after I said that. So this team,
he had some catches too.
He had some nice catches,
and it wasn't just him either.
No, it wasn't just him.
I saw all around people. Even Travis Kelce was dropping.
He had one big drop. Yes, he did.
Yes.
And the biggest drop of them all was the Scantling drop at the end, and that would have given them the lead. And you know, it was a great throw by Mahomes, and it's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they lead the league in drops.
They need to finish games.
They lead the league in drops. So, and
I don't want to say that the Chiefs would have won this if they had that touchdown. But listen, the way that the Chiefs defense was playing that game, just the constant pressure they were applying, they had a minute and 40. They would have had a minute and 40 left to get it down the field. It really depends on if they would have gone for the 2 points, make it a 4-point game, and they have to score a touchdown. I think that would have probably been the smart move. But either way, they would have had to push it down the field. I don't know if they would have.
Yeah, well, it's a good question to ask because they were struggling at times on offense, the Eagles. They were. And this is an interesting stat, too. Jalen Hurts has won 13 straight against teams with winning records. He's also won 7 straight when trailing by 10 or more in the game.
Oh, wow. So he's good against his back against.
I would say, what are you when you're trailing? And he's great quarterback when he's trailing. Great quarterback against winning teams. He doesn't always show it in the stat line. Like he struggled for most of this game, but he made plays when he had to. The running touchdown, big play to Devontae Smith down the field. He does it when he has to. He'll always get 2 or 3 explosive plays down the field. That'll be the difference in the game, whether he struggles or not.
For sure.
So.
And there's a lot more wide receiver diva going on with A.J. Brown. Him going at it with, I was saying it before. I'm like, yeah, you got to get him the ball before he starts, hitting you upside the head.
Now, here's the thing. he is a winning. He's a vital part of that offense. So if he's not getting the ball, usually they're not going to win the game. But this game was an exception because But he's a winning player, and when he gets work, when he has volume, they win. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to get mad. Like, most wide receivers, I will get angry. Like, the whole George Pickens thing was a little silly to me because it's like, you're not eventually he's going to be the focal point of that offense, but right now he's not because the offense is struggling. But A.J. Brown is the heart and soul of what this offense does.
Yeah,
so
sure.
When he goes off, and the Eagles go off. Jalen Hurts has a big day. He is the heart and soul of that offense. I mean, Jalen Hurts is the heart and soul, but he's the production. So
they just have such a weird duo, though. Like, Jalen Hurts is such a mellow guy.
Yes.
He just straight ahead. And then you got A.J. Brown that's kind of just up his neck.
And then you got Nick Sirianni, who's like, showboating to the fans, going like this. Yeah. It's like he just won the Super Bowl. So you need a mellow guy like Jalen Hurts to kind of calm the storm.
No, I love him as a quarterback. Yeah. He what is this? His second season? Third?
Technically, it's his first season. He was the backup to Carson Wentz. His second season was his first full season as a starter, and they were decent. Made the playoffs, got blown out. Last season was his third season. Made the Super Bowl. This is his fourth season. His third season as a starter.
Yeah. So I just love how mellow he is and how he doesn't let the winds get to his head. It's just even in his press conference, you just see
calm, cool, collected.
Exactly.
Eagles to me are the best team in the league. Ravens are right there, but I got the Eagles because they just keep winning these tough games. So.
They started off a little slow, not really watching their opponents, but they showed they could win in these hard games.
Battle tested now. Dallas, Philadelphia. I mean, Dallas and Kansas City beat both of them, so those are two tough wins right there. Absolutely. But let's move on to what I think was my favorite. This was my favorite game of the week, and this is one of the better Sunday night games I've seen in a while. And you would have never expected this from the Vikings and the Broncos going to the season. You're like, this is a boring Sunday night game. This was a great Sunday night game, and it started off a little slow. But Josh Dobbs had plays. Made plays on his feet again, touchdown run. But I think the trumping story in this and the biggest story of all this is Russell Wilson. He might not be back to Seattle, Russell Wilson, but he's been pretty close. I mean, that final drive, that was vintage Russell Wilson on the Seattle Seahawks. That touchdown throw to Sutton, vintage Russell Wilson. So many plays that he had to make that he made today I keep saying today like it's the same day, but he made so many plays he had to make on Sunday to win that game. And on the final drive when it mattered most, cool, calm, collected, right down the field touchdown. I mean, Russell Wilson, if he's not back, he's as close as he's going to be to it. What does he have, 19 touchdown passes? Great job by Russ. So.
Yeah, so is it just Sean Payton letting him cook? Are they actually just letting him cook?
I don't really think he's cooking. I think he's playing within the offense. You see him making the check downs and stuff. So he's playing within the system really well. I think they finally have gelled together. We said it wasn't a great fit, Payton and Russell Wilson, but I think they've really started to grow on each other. And Sean Payton's turned this team around. They were 1-5, now they're 5-5.
Well, listen, this is a winning team all around. You got studs everywhere. So it's only a matter of time before they got things going, and I'm happy to see it because you're not getting rid of the coach, you're not getting rid of Russell. They could actually make things work here. So I'm excited to see what happens.
And they traded defensive pieces away, yet got better.
Yeah, weirdly enough, right?
I think they just, look, that Miami game, I think they just mailed it in. That 70-point game was an anomaly to me. I don't think the defense was ever that bad. Especially they were getting thrown on like crazy. Meanwhile, they had the best corner in the league. So it's and they have a great safety. So I think that defense is still really good. Is it top 10? Probably not. I mean, statistically, they won't be now because of that one game alone. Mm-hmm. But they're a top half defense, like top 15, 16 defense. And look, Josh Dobbs, the Vikings, I think they'll still make the playoffs. But, these were two red-hot teams, kind of. I mean, I felt like the Vikings were a little more hot than the Broncos, but now the Broncos are red-hot. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Bills, now they beat the red-hot Vikings. So the Broncos...
They have been battle-tested, for sure.
And I said this in my reaction video on Sunday. Well, it came out on Monday. Always do that. But I said the three playoff teams right now in the AFC, the wild-card teams, are the Browns, Texans, Steelers. There's a wide open shot for the Broncos to enter that conversation. The Browns don't have a quarterback. The Steelers don't have a quarterback. I think the Texans are going to make the playoffs. But
listen, we're going to get into it, but I think you're too low on the Browns right now.
I'm not too low. I just need to see what it looks like long term now they signed Flacco. Are they going to roll with him as a starter? I don't know what's going to happen there. It's like they only need to win 3 more games to get to 10-7, but will they get there? It's like we gotta see. We'll get into the Browns.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
So let's get into another AFC North. Well, 2 more AFC North teams: the Ravens and the Bengals. And most importantly, Joe Burrow out for the season. Let's talk about that first. Your thoughts?
Well, you kind of nailed it on the head with your instant reaction. They are done. Their season's done, and it's a little worrisome what they're going to look like next season as well. Yes, you get Joe Burrow back, but how many pieces can you save?
Right.
This was kind of their year.
Yeah.
And that's why I was a little worried to begin with, why they weren't getting things going. You just start to get things going, and then you lose Joe Burrow. So season's done. Maybe get some more pieces in there, but you're definitely going to be losing some. And I don't know how the whole franchise feels about this, but Joe Burrow should have been on the injury reserve list. Should have he not? Because
the injury report.
The injury report. I'm sorry, but it's kind of weird because the Cincinnati Bengals like fan page. It wasn't the fan page, but their organization page. They posted the picture or the video with him in the cast, but then they deleted it. I think a few minutes later.
But then Joe Burrow said it was his injury that he suffered in the game was different from what the wrist sleeve he was wearing. It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. I think he's just trying to like back up his friend.
Well, yeah, he's trying to not throw the team under the bus, and obviously, I'm sure it's possible he might have not reported it to the team too. He might have been trying to hide it also. So there's a lot of factors.
I don't think
here.
somebody was like, "Hey, what's that on your wrist?
I'm
on
sure
your throwing arm." Like,
that's
a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And maybe it could have prevented some further injury. Maybe it could have prevented a surgery that he's going to need now.
And I'm not sure of the penalty for something like this. Like, can they lose a draft pick over this?
I know there was an investigation on this matter.
Is it over yet?
I don't know how far it's gone yet, but
I don't know if they just get fined or if worst case scenario they lose the draft pick. Like, how does that work? I know the last time I remember someone like a team losing a draft pick, I'm pretty sure it was the Dolphins when they were tampering with Tom Brady. Yeah. They lost a draft pick.
Well, they were doing something shady. They deleted the picture or the video. Yeah. That's pretty,
Yeah, it sucks though because I had Joe Burrow as my favorite for MVP going into the season. Yeah, I think you did too. And I had the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. And
that's out the window now.
It's completely out the window. Like the Browns, okay, I'll give you this. The Browns can win with a backup quarterback. The Bengals aren't going to. They're going to win like what, 1-2 more games. They might have a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Because that guy didn't look anything special, Jake Brown. He had one decent touchdown throw to Chase on a comeback route. And
but it was just
he timed it really early and just threw it. Yeah, it was exactly right. Really, the Ravens. Now, Mark Andrews also out for the season.
Oh, yeah, Mark Andrews out for the season. I don't know if that's going to really affect them too much. They've always had that adversity where they always have something going on.
I'll give you that. They always have someone hurt.
J.K. Dobbins being out for
Lamar.
the year, losing some linemen, but they always make it work.
I'll slightly disagree because Mark Andrews is so huge to Lamar Jackson. I think their wide receiver core is going to make up for it.
Yes, I was about to say that, but then now you have Odell Beckham starting to step
was about
up
to say
now.
that too. Yes. Odell Beckham's coming
116 yards. Having
when was his last 100-yard game? It had to have been
it must
since
have been
the Rams.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Impressive from him.
It is.
He looked quick, too. He looked really quick.
Yes,
that was the closest to Giants Odell that I've seen since he's left the Giants. That was maybe some moments on the Rams, too, 2 seasons ago. I keep forgetting. That's how long he was out of the league.
And it's not like he's a star where everyone's going to be like, okay, cover him. You got other people around
That's the whole point now. Exactly. And then you say Flowers. And Rashad Bateman's starting to slowly come on.
Yes, he is. So you're going to have your second to third back on him, and he could easily smoke most of them.
And they're tight. I'm pretty sure, their backup tight end, if you don't remember last season, Isaiah Likely had a few games where he had some moments, Isaiah Likely. So it's not like they're turning to a scrub now. This guy actually showed some talent at times.
He's likely going to be a good player.
So, I mean, yeah. Oh, man, very corny.
Okay, so are you worried about the Baltimore Ravens at this point?
Worried? No. If anything, this is the most confident I've felt about them. They might be the favorite in the AFC.
But not to mention, Lamar was walking around with the busted up ankle.
I know, and that's worrisome because we always know, like the last 2 seasons in a row, Lamar has gotten hurt in the second half of the season. So he needs to make sure that he's fresh for the playoffs. So he needs to stop running around.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that too. But it's perfect. They're going into their bye week now. He has some time to rest it. Maybe even get an MRI and see if there's any damage going on.
And that's good too because Odell coming off his biggest game as a Raven being probably worn out a little bit because, he's very injury prone too. Now he gets a bye week also. So the Ravens are probably going to be fresh. They have a good coach. They're going to come out of the bye.
They got there by the perfect time.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to touch on with that game and that situation with the Bengals. Is Joe Burrow? Do we consider him injury prone now because his first season tore an ACL out for the year? The last 2 seasons he played full seasons, but this whole season was injury rolled, the calf and then the wrist. So is he people call Lamar injury prone, but I think pretty sure Joe Burrow is now going to miss more games than Lamar after this is all said and done.
They're all separate injuries. I know during the season even so when he was hurt, he was dealing with other injuries too. He was like his shoulder, he was having his elbow, he was having a problem. He's hurt all around, man.
So did we sum up as this? It was a banged up. Was he just too injury prone this season, or is he an injury prone player? I mean, I honestly know because the last 2 seasons he played both seasons the entire season. So I won't go there yet. One more season of this though, within the next 2 seasons. Like if he has another serious injury like this in the next 2 or 3 years, then he probably is a little injury prone. Like that's just the math.
He is.
That's the math. You think he is already? Yes. I mean, that's not unreasonable to say. I'm not sure if he got hurt in college or not, though. So that I'm not even going to throw out there. But that's all we'll get into with that. So Bengals, goodbye. Now we'll get into the other AFC North battle. And, dude, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to DTR. Kenny Pickett, 6 touchdown passes, the same amount as Zach Wilson this season.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how deep I want to get into that, just for the fact that
I want to get real deep. This is
no. We can get into it, but the Browns organization, all around, they just are a phenomenal team. Their defense, top of the line. They're rated the number 1, I think, right now.
1 or 2.
And then they have stuff going on offense too. Amari Cooper, he's been going off. He's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, Njoku.
No, yeah, you got some good linemen. They're a good team, so I feel like it's very similar to the 49ers. You throw anyone in there, they can get it done. PJ Walker, what team did they beat? They beat the 40.
They beat the Niners.
They beat the 49ers. That's what I'm trying to get at. Obviously, he wasn't good enough to start this game. He was completely fine. He just didn't start.
Weird though, because as bad as Walker wasn't great, but I thought he was better than DTR. I mean, DTR was decent yesterday, but what we saw from the I'm pretty sure it was the Ravens when Deshaun was ruled out last second.
Yeah,
but DTR was terrible that game. So I thought they would go with Walker, but DTR was decent this game, and he had a great last drive.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the Browns saw a little more than him than we see.
Maybe in practice. Yeah, you never know. Like we say all these things we think, but in practice, these guys are in practice with them. They know. We don't. So, good point.
So, I feel like the Browns, they're right up there, man. I can see them going all the way, with or without a quarterback. They just picked up Joe Flacco. And
guy's a statue, man.
He is a statue.
As a Jet fan, that guy's done. At that point, I would rather go with DTR at that point. Joe Flacco. They have a decent line, though. I'll give them that. So, maybe Flacco could just sit there and be accurate. But
was he even on a team before this?
I think he was a free agent. Yeah, he was. Right? He's done, in my opinion. I mean, I thought he was retired at this point.
He was a good Raven.
yeah, he was a good Raven. He was a decent Bronco, I guess. I mean, has he backed anyone else up in the league? I mean, he was the Jets' backup for a few years. Regardless, if he has time to throw, he'll deliver the ball. But
they have a pretty good.
They don't have a bad line. They don't have a bad line.
Decent running game.
Decent running game. Yes.
So I feel like they could really make it work.
Out of the Browns and the Steelers, I trust the Browns to do it more without a quarterback than the Steelers. But I do think Kenny Pickett is better than the quarterback options the Browns have, but it's not by much. Yeah. It's not by much.
Well, I think the Steelers and Browns are very similar in the fact that their defense could get the job done. But I feel like the Browns are more like that in that situation. Their defense will get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very similar. I'll get slight as to the Browns. Well, not slight. The Browns have been great this year. People are talking about Myles Garrett for MVP. So,
absolutely.
I
can see that.
We would be talking Micah Parsons earlier in the year.
Yeah,
now,
that's out the window now.
Yeah, definitely. But look, like I said, Kenny Pickett, 6 touchdown passes this season, 7 last season. He's got 13 in his career. Mac Jones had 22 his rookie season. So, come on. And we hate on Mac Jones all the time. Mac Jones is average, very average, but better than Kenny Pickett. I'll take Mac Jones.
Could be a good back.
I'll take Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett, Dylan.
No, Mac Jones all the way.
Jones.
Yes,
Come on.
That's a fair statement.
And Mac Jones is a lower end starter in the league. So what's Kenny Pickett? He's slightly better than Zach Wilson.
Pickett is just like kind of on like a very steady chase where like he's just not going up. He's not going down. He's not doing anything.
He's kind of the same as what he was last year. It's exactly the same.
Exactly. At least with Mac Jones, like you see something really good. He has a terrible game. He comes back up.
You see good games.
Yeah, you see good games. You don't see anything with Kenny Pickett. And I was comparing their offense. Like Kenny Pickett has a lot of options.
Yes.
They have a good run game. They have some studs in the wide receiver core. Mac Jones doesn't have anything.
No. And star tight end, too, who just came back, Freiermuth. But it's just, it's pathetic. It's pathetic what this guy's doing. They just fired Matt Canada. We'd like to throw that in. Is it all his fault? No. Was he a big reason? Yeah. But at some point, you have to, like I've said, we've talked about this many times. When you're blaming the offensive coordinator, when you're blaming the line, usually it's your quarterback. And in this case, it's definitely their quarterback. I mean, like, look at the talent they have. And Jalen Warren now coming on, too. He was the only spark on Sunday. They should have given it to him more times. He only had 9 carries. Like,
that's kind of ridiculous. That's probably why they got rid of him.
Like, I don't get why they kept bringing Najee Harris in the first place. So, like, you have this guy who's getting 60-yard touchdowns and he's averaging over 10 yards a carry, and you're subbing him out, like, and you only give him 9 carries. Jalen Warren's coming on. He's looking like he's a stud. Like,
I'm pretty sure this is his first start over Najee Harris.
It's first or second. I know they announced it recently. So
yes, they did. Rightfully so. He was going off.
Yes, and he's been going
Harris
off.
Is kind of
he
hasn't been doing much.
He's plateaued. So Steelers or Browns? Who you trust more?
Oh, Browns all the way. I trust the Browns.
I don't have an answer for you right now. I don't, because I guess Browns, because they beat the Steelers without a quarterback. So,
like, listen, I think if Kenny Pickett was on the Browns, they could even get it done. They could get it done with anyone.
I like that would be nice for the Browns right now. But I mean,
screw it. Throw Joe Flacco out there. Let him see what he's got.
If they get blocked for him, he'll deliver the ball.
Listen, they got a pretty, I wouldn't say stacked, but they have in-depth quarterback room now, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
so you kind of just throw everyone out there, see who plays the best.
See who sticks, really, yeah. So good
I think
point.
Joe Flacco will do just fine there.
Honestly, you're talking me into it, because the line's decent and he can get the ball out. It's just he's got to come to play, because on the Jets he looked like he didn't even want to be there. So
well, they just have a whole lot of problems. You know.
Yeah, man. We'll get into that.
They got a franchise problem.
Yeah. So now talking about the other wild card team, the Houston Texans. They beat Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. And look, Kyler Murray made some big plays in this game. He had a long touchdown pass, had a huge 4th down touchdown run. But C.J. Stroud, when it mattered most, again, won another close game. Dude, Tank Dell in the first half, 120 receiving yards in the first half.
Tank Dell has been a stud.
Complete stud.
Absolutely.
Complete stud. And would we know who he was without C.J. Stroud? I think you asked this before. Probably not.
Same thing, Nico Collins. Like, he has, like, sometimes he goes off.
You know what's funny? He's been there for 3 years. Did you even know who he was?
No.
I didn't. I had no idea this guy was even a person. So
C.J. Stroud is just keep on doing it. And he just keeps on doing it.
Now, C.J. Stroud had 2 picks in the red zone. One wasn't his fault because it was deflected. But the other one kind of was his fault. He forced it in there. But I don't mind picks at all. I really don't. As long as you're also making big plays down the field, which he does. So, on a consistent basis. So, picks are fine.
Dude, and he's just another one of those players that's just, like, kind of calm and mellow. Like, in his press conference, he was like, I knew I had those picks, but I'm just going to throw them.
He has a short memory.
He's not worried about throwing picks, and that's what you want to see in your quarterback. I'm completely fine with him throwing 2 picks in here.
Me too.
They won the game. He did his job.
Technically, he threw 3. He threw another one later, but I don't care at all. Like I said, throw picks.
Go
ahead. As long as you're making big plays down the field also, when you like, take risks. But there's got to be some risk reward, and there's a lot of reward when he takes those. Remember, he had a beautiful touchdown pass. I'm pretty sure it was to Tank Dell on the right side. He rolled out. He's got way more mobility than I thought he would.
Yes.
So C.J. Stroud, I mean, I think they're going to be a playoff team, the Texans. I mean, they're the 6th seed right now. They got the Browns ahead of them at 5, and the Steelers behind them at 7. They're sandwiched right in the middle of those 2 AFC North teams. So I trust them the most out of those 3, because it always comes back to your quarterback. And who do I trust? C.J. Stroud or whatever the other 2 guys got? Like, I trust Stroud more than those 2 guys combined. I said in my reaction.
That's a fair take.
Yeah, I mean, who? Okay, so out of those 3, and let me throw some others in there. Let's do that now. So let me throw a couple teams: the Houston Texans, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills. Let's throw in the Raiders, the Colts, and the Broncos. So that's 8 teams. What 3 do you see making it out of those?
The Texans, the Browns, and the Broncos.
You got the Broncos in the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I trust them more than the Steelers. I trust them more than the Colts. I could trust them more than the Raiders.
I get why. I get. I think I do the Colts in there.
Yeah,
because those I'm putting everyone that's kind of close. I might be missing a team honestly, but those are the teams I think are immediately like in the race. I'll go Texans. I'll go Bills. They just won against the Jets. Oh my God, 6-5 Bills now. So I'll go Bills, Texans, Bills, and I'll put the Browns in there because they're already 7-3. They need 3 more wins. I'll put the Browns in there. Texans, Bills, Browns for me.
I don't know if I trust the Bills. I really don't.
I don't either, but like I think it's crazy how depleted the AFC has become now with Burrow being out for the season and all this happening. I can't see the Colts making it. I can't see the Raiders making it. I think the Steelers are going to start to collapse here a little bit. I think they're going to start to fold in on themselves. And usually when you get a new offensive coordinator, it provides a spark, but I don't think Kenny Pickett has it, and I think it's going to show. So I think the Steelers fall out of it. I think the Browns hold on. They get those 3 wins. They get to 10-7. They make the playoffs because they're just really good. They just need competent quarterback play. They're like the Jets. I mean, they're better than the Jets because they got a good offensive line. So I'll put the Browns in. Yeah. Yes. So let's.
It's kind of crazy. Real quick before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
The amount of quarterbacks that are injured right now. Can we go through? Daniel Jones, Joe Burrow.
Deshaun Watson,
Anthony Richardson. There's definitely more out there.
We're missing.
Kirk Cousins,
Aaron
Rodgers.
I think
crazy.
that's it.
I think it's become really important to have a good backup, a good competent backup.
Yes,
because you really never know what's going to happen.
You don't know, and it's funny because they catered all the rules to prevent all this, and it's still happening.
Yeah, so, you can't get away with it, and most of them are non-contact injuries.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, just make sure you have your backup.
Yeah, which the Jets didn't do, but we'll get into that later.
No, we can get into that now. This all could have been prevented. That you have a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and you're backing him up with Zach Wilson, the guy that you benched halfway through.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, and Jets fans like me were screaming for a legitimate backup. And I think obviously the idea was like, oh, Aaron's gonna teach
him. I get it,
but he could have been
the third. One game.
He could have been the third string though. He didn't have to be the backup. Like you could have kept Mike White. Why'd you let Mike White go? Like Mike White was perfect for this offense, but I know he got hurt like a couple times, but like. I would have rather had that. And this was like when Xavier Gibson fumbled the opening kickoff, I knew right then, okay, this game's over. This game's over. And I knew it was in for a day. The Jets' offense is anemic. The offensive line can't block. Now Becton's hurt. He's a bust at this point. I'm done with him. He was decent this year, but he's hurt all the time. Knee problems. Now it's an ankle. Tim Boyle came in. Zach Wilson got benched. And it's really it. Tim Boyle's going to start this week. They're probably going to lose against Miami on Friday.
So, they have like a 5% chance of making the playoffs now. So
Rodgers isn't coming back. He never was coming back. Let's get that clear. He never was coming back. But now he's definitely not
maybe it was
back.
Just to give the Jets glimpse of hope.
Yeah, maybe, man.
Just get him going.
I also think he's a big look and beat guy. So I think he was just like trying to he's.
Go against everything. I can beat the
contrarian. He's a contrarian, and
I'll just meditate.
There's really nothing else to talk about with that. I mean,
isn't.
The Buffalo Bills got right with the new offensive coordinator. It really got right. I mean, the Jets.
I'm still not convinced with them. They beat the Jets.
I'm surprised it took the defense this long to fold though, because the offense has been anemic all season. I'm surprised it took them this long to finally fold. And you saw it a lot of times in this game. They were trying instead of going for tackles, they were trying to force fumbles, and they were as a result missing tackles because they just know if they don't get a turnover, they're not going to win. Sauce went for a pick and ended up being a touchdown. Yeah, so you could tell, and that was one of Sauce's worst games as a Jet. And there's a pretty high standard because he's a damn good corner, but it was a bad game. But look, it's going to happen. This is the NFL 2023. It's an offensive league. People are going to score points. Teams are going to score points. You got to be able to score points too, which the Giants did. We can get into that now. The Giants, Tommy DeVito has the same amount of touchdown passes as Zach Wilson this season. Tommy DeVito has more multiple touchdown games in his career than Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has one game with multiple touchdowns, one game with 2 touchdowns. Tommy DeVito's done that twice now.
Tommy DeVito is the only franchise quarterback for New York that has started 2 games with over 5 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
That is, right?
Yeah.
He might be our franchise quarterback.
No. I mean, we both know that. But,
no.
But
he had himself a day, man. He made it work.
Maybe he's showing that he could be a backup in the league, though. I don't know, though, because look, the Commanders' secondary, we both know it's Swiss cheese, but And their defensive line's great, which
And
it's showing, but they had 9
They
sacks.
just got rid of a few of their linemen. So
You remember I don't even remember the last time someone like a team got sacked 9 times and they won. Like
it's crazy stat.
Yeah.
It says it all about the Giants.
Yeah.
They just have a terrible line.
Yeah, they do.
And I don't know what the future is for our quarterback's sakes, but I wouldn't want to put Daniel Jones back out there. You know, he has a neck injury that's lingering, and it can only get worse.
He could he could become paralyzed if he gets hit wrong. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
you
got to really touch on that line in the. If we do stick with Daniel Jones, we got to
all line and receivers.
Yeah,
all line and receivers, and same thing with the Jets.
We could probably draft. We could probably trade for receivers, but
there's so many receivers later in the draft, like later rounds.
Yeah.
First 2 rounds is all linemen.
Absolutely.
I
don't know which way they're going to go with it.
I feel the Jets and the Giants have been doing that though for like the last 5 drafts. Lineman line, it just doesn't work. Nothing sticks with these 2 New York teams and their offensive lines. No. It's like crazy.
Bad picks.
Yeah,
I don't
bad
know.
picks. I don't know. Not developing them. I don't know. But Barkley did have a big day. Was it really a big day, or was it just one big run? I mean, no, it was a big second half. He had a touchdown in the first half, and then he had a big second half running the ball.
He's having a good receiving day.
Yeah,
sure.
he was.
Yeah,
and it's weird because Sam Howell, 2 of his 3 worst starts came against the Giants. So I mean, this defense, I feel like it's pretty set.
This defense is great.
Really good linebackers, one of the best D lines in the league, a good young corner.
Yeah, developing corners.
They're almost there, man. Maybe another corner and safety in your set. Like it's offense for you guys. All offense in the draft, and we'll see. Now you kind of ruined your draft picks, your spot a little bit, but with this win, how do you feel?
Out.
Were you rooting for them to win? Were you happy when they were scoring?
Okay, I was happy when they were scoring, but I wasn't happy when they won.
You weren't like happy. You didn't have like a good feeling about it.
No. I was like, okay, now we gotta stick. It's kind of like your realization moment. It's like, okay, we're sticking with Daniel Jones at this point.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
And I don't know. I haven't seen enough out of Daniel Jones to kind of write him off, but. I don't know. Just everyone's so negative about New York, and they always harp on our downfall, and it's all I hear. So I don't know. It's hard to be happy in this situation.
New York sports fans, like baseball too, basketball. I mean, really, the Knicks have been the only saving grace for me lately. But as a Jets and Mets fan, it's been disappointment for years and years. And Giants, Mets, Jets, Giants have been disaster.
And then we talk too much smack, so everyone gives it right back.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I showed you that picture on Instagram where it was saying like the most knowledgeable fan bases, and the Giants were like close to last.
Oh, that was just.
Meanwhile, Bills were first, and meanwhile, Bills fans jump through tables, but Giants fans don't know what they're talking. Like, the guy was definitely a Giants fan.
No, he was definitely.
They had Cowboys high. It's like Cowboys fans don't know anything.
Trolls, my friend. Welcome to the internet.
Did you see that picture I sent to the group chat of Dak Prescott, the tattoo on the calf?
I
gotta show you that. Yeah, and then someone was like, "Oh, I hope he changes his number now." That'd be funny.
People are ridiculous.
Yeah, I hope.
You want to get into that one too?
Bears lines or Cowboys? No,
yeah.
I said Bears line because I was reading something, but no, we'll get into that one. Dallas blew out the Panthers. Let's get into that one later. Let's go Bears lines because Jared Goff, rough start, very rough start. He had 3 picks in this game.
He had 3 picks,
and 2 in the first 2 drives. I'm pretty sure. Very rough in this game. Justin Fields looked really sharp.
They rallied in this game.
They did. Great. Look, we'll start with the Bears because in the beginning the Bears were rolling. Justin Fields looked really sharp. Great touchdown pass to DJ Moore. Over 100 yards rushing. He looked back to that was Justin Fields at his best. Vintage, dynamic Justin Fields.
First game back too. Yeah. He just got it going.
The offense was definitely clicking. But what happened? The Bears played at their best.
Yes.
The Lions played at their worst, and the Lions still won. That just shows where both franchises are right now. The Lions used to be a crappy franchise, but they're not anymore. They're a winning franchise now. The Bears are still a losing franchise, and this is what happens. You play your best game, and you still find a way to lose. Seems like the Bears do that a lot.
Before I get into anything else, so you used to be a Lions hater. You used to doubt the Lions. Are they? Can you finally say they're a Super Bowl contender?
So I didn't necessarily doubt them. After the Ravens loss, I was questioning if they were frauds.
I was too.
I wasn't there yet.
I took them out of my top 10 after that.
You did. You were crazy. Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. Don't forget about that.
Are they frauds?
So,
but no.
Super Bowl contenders, they're right. They're probably in the bubble, yes. They're one of the teams that are closer to the outside of the bubble than to one. But they're in it, yes. Now, they look, when you play your worst game like that, and all of a sudden in the final 4 or 5 minutes, you come back from 2 touchdowns and you win against a divisional rival, you're a pretty good team. Okay, so this team, they are resilient. Jared Goff, I'd never seen him play like that, the way he did at the end of the game. Just literally just aggressive down the field, just trying to come back. Yeah. And now I like the grittiness from that team. Like, this team, yes, and they are a Super Bowl contender. Yes, I'm ready to say it.
I don't know, man. They make all the right draft picks. They have all the right pieces. It's just, how can you not see them in the Super Bowl? I can't not see them in the Super Bowl.
They gotta get through the Eagles. That's the problem. So we'll see. But they match up well against the Eagles. You know,
they beat the Chiefs. Yeah. I mean, they beat good teams.
They did.
It's not like they're frauds.
See, the thing is that there's a couple teams good teams that they lost to. They lost to Seattle. It was a close game. They got killed by the Ravens, but a lot of teams have gotten killed by the Ravens. So I think the Ravens are starting to become an anomaly. Like, if teams get blown out by them, okay, the Ravens are. So I'm kind of
very well-rounded.
Yeah.
Team.
At first, I took that game very seriously, but I'm starting to take it less seriously now. I'm just realizing, okay, they haven't seen Lamar before. Lamar had himself a day, and the Lions are a Super Bowl contender. I want to see them match up against Dallas, because who's the third best team in the NFC? Because I still think the Niners are 2.
49er, yeah.
So with Lions or Dallas?
I think the Lions are kind of right there.
Yeah.
I think the Lions are better than Dallas.
I do too. I agree. So I got Lions 3, Dallas 4. I mean, Dallas will be the 5 seed automatically if the Eagles win the division. They're going to be the wild card.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about, this the Seahawks, man, they have a rough schedule ahead of them.
Yeah. So let's get into that now.
We're gonna be seeing exactly what type of team they are. I think they play the 49ers, the Cowboys. What's another one? They play another really good team. I think
they play the Niners twice.
They play the Niners
because they haven't played them yet this year. Yeah, so they play the Niners this week coming up, so we'll see. They're home. They play on Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll get into that. But let's get into the Seahawks now, since you brought it up. The Rams kind of came back, had a little mini comeback of their own in this game at the end. Yeah. Geno Smith, came out of the game for a little while. Had the elbow. Drew Lock came in. They weren't moving the ball. Had the interception. Rams kind of came back. But I like how Geno Smith went back out there, toughed it out, brought him down the field to win the game, kick a game-winning field goal. Jason Myers missed. That happens. But
it's
now
very disappointing.
The Rams are 4-6. I don't think the Rams are going to be a wild card team. I don't. But say that there's a chance that they go on a little run here, and they are. And say that the Seahawks are a wild card contender. The Rams just beat the Seahawks twice now this season. The Rams have the tiebreaker now. I don't think the Rams will be close, but if somehow, because the Seahawks are 6-4, the Rams are 4-6. Well, if somehow they come closer together, the Seahawks screw themselves.
Like I said, Seahawks have a hard schedule. I can see them winning at least 2 to 3 of those games.
Yeah. So if somehow, some way they end up tied, the Rams got that tiebreaker now.
And I don't know, Rams are very familiar with the playoffs,
and they're feisty. Look, great head coach, great quarterback. One of the best defensive linemen ever. Cooper Kupp's hurt now, though. I think that's important to note.
He is, but it was a minor, maybe a minor sprain with his ankle. And I don't think we should take too much.
And let's remember, when he was out last time, they were just fine with
exactly.
Puka.
Puka got it done.
So Rams could still be in this. It could get a little. Rams could be a little feisty, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. But if they're close,
watch out.
If they're close, yeah. So okay, this one, I don't know how he's not fired by now. Brandon Staley. Jordan Love looked like a Pro Bowler in that game.
This was an embarrassing game.
Romeo Dobbs in the last touchdown was wide open. I've never seen so many teams blow cover. I've never seen one team blow as many coverages as the Chargers do on defense. I've never seen it before. There's always someone just completely wide open all the time.
So if you ever wondered, what would a team look like if they had the best offense and the worst defense? Chargers.
Voila.
Chargers. Yeah. It's really embarrassing how they haven't done more. I'm not sure if they should fire the defensive coach or just get rid of Brandon Staley. But he is somebody he was feisty against the reporters. He was going.
I'm calling the plays still. He calls the plays. He's the defensive coach. Get rid of him. There you go.
Yeah. I think this should have been done a while ago. This is just. It's just so disappointing. You see a lot of talent with the Chargers, and they just blow games because of their defense. I
will say, Quentin Johnston, huge drop. Keenan Allen, huge drop. There were huge drops. Eckler fumbled in the red zone. So there were opportunities that were missed. I do think Kellen Moore deserves a little bit of blame to the offensive coordinator. We've been praising them. We praised him when they scored 38 points against the Lions. We have to criticize him a little bit here because they only scored 20. Now, Packers have a good defense, and there were missed opportunities with drops and red zone fumbles. He doesn't control that. But he's got to take some of the blame, too, here. Not as much as Staley, obviously. I'm not calling for his head. If anything, I would like him to replace Staley. But it goes both ways here. You got if we're gonna praise someone, we gotta criticize them too. So we gotta be fair.
But you have to realize you gotta give them some weeks. Like they've been phenomenal, just scoring. But
they're not going to have it every week.
Your defense has to have your back at some point.
Exactly. You're not going to score 40 every week, 38 every week.
Exactly.
But it's apparently Justin Herbert has to do that with this team. So, and that's why people think he's a poser, a fraud, and it's just like I'm not buying it. The guy's a great quarterback.
He is, absolutely.
What else do you want him to do? They're dropping passes, they're fumbling balls in the red zone. The guy, look at his numbers. He was really sharp in this game. If you watch the game, he had a really good game.
It's so disappointing. Like if they don't make some sort of changes, I can't see them ever making a run for a Super Bowl.
I will slightly say Jordan Love has looked a little better lately. This was the Chargers defense, so I'm not going to take it 100%. But has looked a little better. He hasn't looked like Kenny Pickett. Hasn't looked like Zach Wilson. I was about to say
we compared them to the Kenny Pickett and Jordan Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love's good, but he's
definitely looking a lot better.
And I heard Colin Cowherd and the Herd talk about this. Jordan Love, offensive head coach. Has support around him, like letting him slowly grow, and he's slowly getting better. Kenny Pickett, defensive head coach, the offensive coordinator just got fired, and he's regressed. But I will say this: I do think the Steelers have more offensive weapons.
Absolutely,
because Aaron Jones is a shell of himself right now.
Yes, he keeps on getting hurt.
He's not the same anymore. Yeah, and Christian Watson hasn't been the same as last year. He had a touchdown, I'm pretty sure, in this game.
AJ Dillon's very spotty.
Very spotty. Romeo Dobbs is solid. He's a solid 2 or 3, but
you just don't have any flashy players on that team.
The line's been shaky. They've been hurt. He's been getting sacked quite a bit. He's looked a little better. Now, I don't think this is the guy for Green Bay, but it might. I don't know. Maybe they roll with him one more year. Maybe he's earned that. He does have, I think, like 16 touchdown passes, so he'll get to 20. The problem is he also has 10 picks, so he's up and down. He's very up and down. We've seen that. So that's all I got to say about that. We got to watch a little bit more Jordan Love, but I'm not really sold. I will give him props.
Technically a rookie, man.
Yes, and I'll give him props.
I don't like to call him a rookie, but yes, technically this is his first real season.
And
so
numbers,
give him a bit.
Numbers wise, he did look great, so I'll give him that. We'll move on now. Raiders at Dolphins, and I just want to say I was very impressed by the Raiders because Antonio Pierce has this team playing. They only lost by a touchdown to the great Miami Dolphins. I think they should hire this guy right now, Antonio Pierce, as the full-time head coach. Be like, dude, this is your team. He has turned this whole culture around. They look fired up to play. They're holding this. How many times have we talked about how terrible this defense is in the past? They held the Dolphins to 20.
He's done something. In 3 weeks, he's really turned this team around.
Yeah.
Beat both New York teams and then almost beat a top tier team. Definitely.
Top tier offense for sure. And
yes.
He's got the Raider mentality, Antonio Pierce. He had on the Giants, like that kind of like that. We're tougher than you. We're gonna pound you to death. He's got that whole Raider thing going for them, so I think they should hire him. So
yeah, absolutely. And finally, Devontae Adams. I didn't know if he was alive or not.
I know.
He's alive.
I know, and I'm sure he's a little happier now. And the guy O'Connell did have 3 picks, but a lot of that was trying to come back late. Look, I'm very impressed by this Raiders team. I think, what are they, 5-6 now? But regardless, they're right in the thick of things, but they're not going to make the playoffs or anything. But there's a lot to like about this team moving forward.
Absolutely,
they need a couple pieces. They got Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers in the league. Devontae Adams, if he stays there, I mean, I think he's going to go to the Jets in the offseason.
I was thinking that too.
I hope he goes to the Jets. But
I don't know.
Josh Jacobs, I mean, he's been up and down, but he's been a little better.
Jacoby Myers
has been very underrated.
Phenomenal.
He's one of the best.
Last 2 weeks,
I gotta say, he's one of the best number 2s in the league, though. When he's on, he's up there. So let's move on.
Well, real quick before we move on, I just want to talk about the Miami defense. Jalen Ramsey.
2 picks, right?
2 picks.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. He's came in and just started making difference.
He has made a big difference.
Picks. I think this is going to keep them going.
It does make them. It does add another dimension to this team because the offense we know is great. If the defense could play like this, we don't know. They're definitely going to win this division. Look, I think they're better than the Bills right now. I know the Bills beat them, but the Bills have had a lot of injuries since then. And the Dolphins got people back from injuries, so yes, very different.
Their defense is definitely a lot more stacked now.
It is,
and Jalen Ramsey is making
a difference. And yes. Xavier Howard was hurt for a little bit, came back. So good way to bring that up. Good point. Good job, Dylan.
Couldn't miss that.
Good homework there. Cowboys, Panthers. We'll go through this quick. Cowboys, look, they blew them out. I'll give the Panthers this. They had one really good 17-play drive, and I was like, this is what it should look like. They went for on 4th down like 3 times on that drive, but they got blown out again. I mean, what are we going to talk about? Like, okay, we should just bring up this. Deron Bland had his fourth pick six.
Fourth pick six. Okay,
That
Good
is
thing you remember that.
That is a nice one. Tied the NFL record. That's he gets one more, man. 5 pick sixes in the season. He has 6 picks. So Trayvon Diggs going down for the season has not hurt them at all. They got Gilmore still, and they got this guy Bland. They've been fine in the passing game. Titans Jaguars was a blowout. That's like the one game that there's really not much to say about. I didn't really learn much.
I mean, the Jaguars it was kind of a get right for them. You know?
I think their defense has been pretty impressive this season. I will say that their secondary has been a lot better than people thought. Darius Williams has had a big year as corner, and pretty sure he's been ranked number 1 in PFF for a while. I don't know if he still is, but like that secondary has definitely been much improved.
They've kind of been like a sleeper defense.
They have been. I think they're tied for the league lead in interceptions. Like they get a lot of sacks. They are a good defense. They have flown under the radar a little bit.
They have.
They gotten blown out by like teams like the Texans though, and the Niners. So it's not like they're perfect. Like they're not a top 5 unit. Might be top 10.
They're getting there. It's a developing team in general.
It is. And they're a developing team, yet they're also somewhat like a contender. Mm-hmm. I think they're a pretender.
I like to compare them to the Lions too.
I think the Lions are better.
You think the Lions are better?
Yeah,
I kind of think so too.
Yeah, I think the quarterback. I think Trevor Lawrence is like better, I guess, than Jared Goff. Even though he hasn't impressed me all the time. Trevor Lawrence, look at his numbers.
It's weird. It's kind of like. They had a lot of momentum coming into last year, but this year they kind of just been on a steady pace.
I think we just hyped them too much in the offseason.
What are they, 7-3 now?
So they're fine. Still, like, record-wise, they're a top team.
But it's just in the games. They don't look right. Good.
And I
said this last week, too.
I think a big thing was I think we just hyped them up so much in the offseason. From that one comeback game.
That's fair enough.
And how hot they ended the last season.
And then again, that comeback game was against the Chargers that have one of the worst defenses.
Exactly. And we can't remember. That first half was terrible. They were awful in the first half, so we forget we totally forget about the first half because the second half was so awesome. But anyway, so we both went 9-5 this week. We only had one game differently. I think yours was the Browns, and I picked Steelers. So I texted them last second. Like if you look at the episode, I picked Browns.
That's right.
I picked Browns, but I was like, hey, I don't know. Deshaun Watson's out for the year.
It doesn't matter. Like I was saying, the Browns could get it done with anyone.
And he picked the Vikings, and I picked the Broncos for Sunday night. So that was a close one. That was close. So it was the Browns Steelers. So those were 2 really close ones. Yeah, so sure. I'm 98-66. He's 99-65. So he's 1 game ahead of me still. It's coming down to the wire. It really is coming down to the wire. So it's getting exciting now. But let's get into our picks for next week. I want to start with our Thanksgiving games.
Thanksgiving game. Who's going to get the turkey? Who's going to get the leg?
Who's going to eat that turkey? That is what they do. They eat the turkey leg.
Yeah, eat the turkey leg. We should have our predictions for that too.
Yeah. Oh, who's gonna be the MVP? Yeah, let's do that. Packers, Lions. I gotta go Lions here. I saw them play last time, and I picked Packers last time they played, and the Lions completely blew them out. They controlled the entire game, and they were on the road. Now you got the Lions home here, Thanksgiving, fired up. You got both running backs healthy. Give me Lions here.
I'm going Lions all the way as well. But watch out, because Green Bay is coming off a hot game. Their defense has done a lot. You know, they can really make a move into this game. But the Lions are overall just a better team. Nothing else to give from this game.
Okay, so you got Lions, I got Lions. Who eats the turkey leg?
I think it's going to be Montgomery. I think he's going to have another great game.
Good one. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I was thinking that one too, but I didn't want to give the obvious one.
So
Montgomery, he has been phenomenal, and it's
what a pickup.
I think it was kind of a comeback, not a comeback, but a revenge game for him.
Because they let him go.
Yeah, they let him go. So. He only had like 77 yards, but he had himself the game before that. He had over 100 rushing.
They could use him right now. They could use him right now. They got Foreman, and Herbert's been a big disappointment, but Foreman's been okay. But they could use him right now. So
and it's crazy, and you got Swift too. That like. He's another phenomenal back.
Yeah, so.
But, you just see spurts of him. He doesn't get as much.
Oh, Gibbs, right?
Yeah.
Swift?
Yeah. Oh, I said Swift.
Well, because Swift and Gibbs are very similar, and Swift used to be on the line, so I get you there. So let's move on to the next one. Commanders at Cowboys. Look, I actually was thinking about Commanders here, but Commanders on the road. Dallas kind of. I think this has the potential to be a shootout, but these like I said, these Dallas corners are really good. I think Sam Howell makes a mistake or two in this game, and a mistake or two too many, and I think Dallas wins this game at home. So give me Dallas.
Yeah, for sure. I think Commanders match up well against good teams. It's weird enough. I don't know, against the Giants they get blown out, but they go toe to toe with who do they go toe to toe with? I think what?
Eagles.
The Eagles?
Commanders,
yeah, exactly. You go toe-to-toe with the
Twice.
Eagles.
Twice.
Yeah. So, I don't know. They're just better in these divisional games. It's another divisional game, so I feel like this is going to be a shootout as well. But the Cowboys are red hot, too. I can't see them not winning this. If they don't win this, be worried. Be worried as a Cowboys fan.
So both Cowboys there. The leg. I think what's funny. I think
who's the leg
multiple
going to?
people. I think multiple people go out and eat the leg. Like I usually it's the quarterback and a couple of people around them. But like usually there's one guy on the screen. So I guess we're talking about that guy. So I'll go with Dak here. I think Dak has a multiple touchdown game, and I think Dak has a nice game here. So give me Dak. They're home.
I think it's Dak too.
Dak.
I mean Dak or CD. I can't really see.
That's exactly.
Pollard hasn't done really much this season. He's not going to be a phenomenal player.
What does he have? 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, something like that.
Brandon Cook has been coming on a little more.
Yeah.
He had like himself. I think 2 weeks ago, like a 100-yard game. So
decent.
he's been coming on a little bit, but.
And the Commanders' secondary, like I keep saying, Swiss cheese.
Yes.
So okay.
It's either going to be CD or Dak.
Realistic. I got the same thing there. Niners at Seahawks for the night game. Look, I think this is going to be not as close as people think. I think Seahawks have been struggling lately, and they're not great on third down. The Niners' defense has not been as good as past years, but they're still pretty good defense. Now, they added Chase Young, who was a big add. A pretty perfect passer rating last week. I don't know.
We forgot to mention that. He had a perfect passing rating.
We didn't even talk about Niners Bucks, by the way. I just realized that now.
We didn't.
Let's
quickly get into that now.
Yeah, so, I mean, Baker looked pretty decent in this game, but Brock Purdy had a perfect passer rating.
He did. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And all the Brock Purdy haters are silent now. How can you not be? That guy went off, and he can be the franchise quarterback.
And here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, he has Debo, he has Kittle, he has IU." He throws the ball down the field. His yards per attempt are pretty high. It's not like he had dinks and dunks all the time. He throws the ball down the field constantly. So. Brock Purdy.
I'm pretty sure this is the only 49er quarterback that's had a perfect passing rating in a game.
Yeah, not Montana, not Steve Young, Brock Purdy.
So are they going to give him the contract?
We got a long way to go.
That's been the whole thing with
he's
them.
in year 2. Usually you get the contract after year 3. We got a little while to go for that. But I guess that's really all we have to add there. I mean, they won by 2 touchdowns against the Bucks.
Stuck in it.
Somewhat. Rashad White's been pretty decent this season.
Rashad White has been good.
Baker hasn't been bad.
A 49ers defense like this.
Yeah. Baker hasn't been bad this year, but yeah. So we'll get back into it. I got Niners in this game. I don't think it's gonna be as close as people think. Seattle has. I think they've struggled and they haven't been great on third down. And I just don't. Something just feels a little off with them. Walker's banged up. Geno's banged up. Mm-hmm. They just seem a little banged up at a wrong moment right now. And I know they're home here, but. I just don't.
Is it much of a home advantage though?
I feel like there's. It definitely is. The 12th man, that place gets crazy. But I just feel like it might be a multiple. It might be a 2-score game. Like I don't know. Something about this. I just feel like I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a blowout, but I give me Niners in a multiple score game. I think it's gonna be more than 7. Maybe it's 10 point, but I'll take Niners here.
I'm not gonna say that. They got a long road ahead of them. They have a bunch of hard games. If they get blown out in this game, it's just not going to look good for them. I don't know. Geno's kind of the guy. He can get the job done. They match up well against good teams. Their defense just got to keep them in it. I know they have a decent secondary. Jamal Adams hasn't been really doing much, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I definitely see the 49ers winning this.
Okay, so
I can see them going toe-to-toe.
Who
is getting...
Turkey leg.
Yeah,
turkey leg. Give me Debo.
Give me Christian McCaffrey.
Watch it be both of them. Watch everyone we picked. They're all going to be out there. We're like, shit. So
it should be like a parlay.
Yeah.
Put together a parlay. Who's getting the chicken leg?
Well, let's
turkey leg.
Let's recap our turkey legs. So Packers at Lions. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown eating the turkey leg.
I got Montgomery.
And Commanders at Cowboys. I got Dak.
And then I got Dak too.
Dak or CD.
No, we'll stick with one. I'll get Dak. Fair enough.
So he's got Dak. And then Niners Seahawks, I will go with Debo.
And I go Christian McCaffrey.
So turkey legs. And then now we got a first ever Black Friday game. And
at the beginning of the season, this game would look good.
Dolphins are going to kick the Jets' ass. Tim Boyle starting. Can I even say ass on there?
Well,
I just did.
Rightfully so against this game. I'll allow it.
So I'm not going to go into this. Dolphins are going to win this game. Jets are going to drop to 4-7, and Aaron Rodgers will officially not come back this season. So that's it.
Dolphins have to blow them out, kick their doors in.
Just for you to be convinced about them a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I think the Jets defense bounces back a little bit this game, holds Dolphins to like 24-25, but the Jets are going to score like 3 points.
See, if the Jets win this game, I will join the boat. Dolphins are fraud.
Okay.
I will finally join the boat, but I can't yet.
I'll hold you to this next week. I think they're good, though. I don't think they're like fraud, like they're not. I just don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender yet. We'll see. So let's move on. Let's start the rapid fire because I want to get into our Thursday night picks. It's gonna be our Thanksgiving picks. We're so used to saying Thursday night. Bucks at Colts. I'll go Colts here. That's a tough one. That's a go either way game. What do you got?
Bucks at Colts. That's an interesting one. Colts are coming off bye. I don't know how good that's going to be for them. I don't know. I got to go Bucks here. You know, they had a feisty game against the 49ers. Keep it going. You could easily beat the Bucks. You could easily beat the Colts.
It's a go either way game for sure.
It is.
Patriots at Giants. This is tough. This really is tough because whoever wins this or loses this might end up with the higher pick in the draft or whatever. Even though the Patriots, I think, have one game.
It's going to be like, no, you take the ball.
Yeah.
No, you take the ball. No, you.
I
take
don't
the
want
ball.
it. You have it. I got the Giants here. I think they surprise people here. I think.
Look at that.
I think this defense makes Mac Jones look a little stupid, and I think Tommy DeVito plays well again. So give me Giants.
So I got the Patriots for this. So it's funny. I'm a Giants fan. He picks the Giants. He's a Jets fan. He picks. Well, no, that would make sense. Because
I hate the Patriots
too.
You
hate the Patriots.
Watching you connect the dots just now is AFC East. But
anyways, I just they had himself a good game, but it was against the Washington Commanders.
I know.
I think the Patriots are better than them. I think the Patriots have a good defense. Sometimes they can get things going on offense with Mac Jones. I don't know. It might be a close one. It might be a blowout. I don't know how this game is going to go.
Yeah.
But I can't see the Giants win.
I see like a 9-6 game, whatever. Anyway,
something like that.
Moving on. AFC North battle. Yet again, we got Steelers, Bengals. And look, Joe Burrow plays. I go Bengals all the way. Here, I have to go Steelers here. I don't think Jake Browning will make any difference in this game for the Bengals. If Kenny Pickett can't throw one touchdown this game, I think we just got to reevaluate the Steelers as a franchise for even drafting them in the first place. So I got Steelers in this one. Not confident about it, but confident enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I see what you're going there. It's weird because I don't know. I was kind of high on the Bengals. So we had that little comment going on before the season started. It's like, oh, if Joe Burrow is out for the season, I think they could still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I completely revoke that comment. Taking it back. Not saying it. I didn't say it. I don't know. The Bengals just were not good against the Ravens. I don't know if it's the Ravens just kind of blow at teams that, aren't sticking in it.
No, that's pretty much what it is.
But it's weird because the Bengals have a lot of stars. It seems like you kind of throw any quarterback in there, they can get it done. Apparently not.
I said it, man. Joe Burrow they sucked until Joe Burrow got there.
Yeah.
But they make the playoffs now and they go on a run. You cannot claim this anymore. You took it away. No backseas.
No. They're 5-5.
No, they're
done.
They're done.
They have a hard schedule. I can't see them.
Yeah,
winning
and the
any more
AC
games.
is tough for the wild card.
Give me Steelers.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not confident either. But okay, Panthers, Titans. Surprisingly, this one's actually a little tough for me because the Titans have been struggling too. I feel like the law of averages, eventually the Panthers got to look somewhat good, but no, not here. Mike Vrabel's a great head coach. Titans are home. Give me the Titans. I think Will Levis has himself a nice little day this game. Bounced back from last week.
Absolutely. I'm going. I'm not going to get into this much, but I'm going Titans as well. I mean, they have a great running back, Derrick Henry. He can go off.
Even their backup's decent. Yeah.
But what is going on with Young? What is he just too young?
Too small. No, I don't know, man.
He might be too small.
He's not good enough to overcome the lack of talent that team has. Other than Adam Thielen, name another receiver on that team. DJ Chark's okay, but he's always hurt.
That's it.
And their running back room has been a complete disappointment. Miles Sanders was been a terrible free agent signing, and Hubbard's okay, but it's okay. Like that's
exactly.
really it.
There's no.
Adam Thielen has been a bright spot, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen has been impressive, but other than that, that's really it.
I don't know. I don't know what to take from them. They don't even have their number one pick right now.
That's the worst part about all of this.
That is right.
And they traded DJ Moore to the Bears too. So
The Bears took the big dub in that one.
And yeah, so the Bears better make the most of it. They got a nice receiver.
That's why I'm a little excited about them.
They got two top 5 picks.
Fields.
They have two. If they do, they trade that pick away, and they get a load of players and picks.
Absolutely.
So they got two top 5 picks.
Bright future.
They can trade both picks. They're gonna have 2 top 5 picks. Well, right now they're gonna have 2 top 10 picks for sure.
Yes.
Definitely one in the top 5 with the Panthers. So moving on.
Very interesting one.
Yeah.
Very interesting one.
Now this might be the game of the week. AFC South battle. This might end up being for the AFC South. The Texans win this. Texans Jaguars. Texans are home. Texans win this. They have the tiebreak over the Jaguars. They take first place in the AFC South. Everything. The Texans have a legit shot at winning this division now. It's all right in front of them. They win this game. They have a clear shot at it. They already beat them once. Look, law of averages. I think the Jaguars bounce back in this game and they win because I don't see the Texans sweeping the Jaguars in the series. And eventually, the Jaguars are going to show that they are the more talented team. I think the Texans are a nice story, and I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they're going to be a wild card team. I just think the Jaguars have more players on offense and on defense, especially on offense. Just give the ETN the ball, let them get going a little bit this game. You don't have to do anything crazy. Hit Ridley 1 or 2 times on a go route. You should win this game, okay? So
I mean, if you think about it, that's how they kind of win everything.
Yeah, they never look impressive.
They don't do anything flashy. They just get it done. But that's not. I don't know. This Texans team has been going shootouts after shootouts against good teams. Jaguars have not been impressive. What do you think they're going to do against the Jaguars? I think they're going to come out firing. The Jaguars might be able to keep up with them. I feel like it's going to be another shootout, and the Texans are going to win it.
Well, the only reason I'm worried is because the Texans did blow them out last time they played, but that's also a reason I think the Jaguars are going to come back. They got embarrassed by them a little bit, and they want to show people that they could beat this team. So it's going to be tough.
It is.
For both teams. This is in the beginning of the season, we would have never saw this as a must-watch game, but this is a must-watch game. This might be for the division, like when it's all said and done. Yeah. So huge game here. Keep an eye on that game. We're gonna split in that. I got Jags, you got Texans. This one's tough too. Saints Falcons. Falcons are home, but I don't know. I think again, the Falcons are so weird to me.
They are.
I'll go Saints here. I'm not confident about it. Just look, the Saints. If the Saints want to win this division, they have to win this game because this is again another divisional matchup. This might decide the division. Did they play yet? I don't think they've played yet.
I don't think they have either.
I don't think they played yet.
What quarterback do the Falcons even have is what I'm getting at.
I don't even understand what's going on there.
I don't.
Didn't Heineke get hurt and then Ritter came back in? I don't even know.
It's very confusing.
I'm over the Falcons.
When you have like a dynamic like that where you don't know what your quarterback is, you kind of have people coming in, coming out.
Yeah.
You don't have much going for
I've been off the Falcons. I never even understood why people were high on the Falcons.
I was a little high on them.
I get why.
They had a lot going.
They have a good roster. I get why. It's just like it all comes back to
once they started messing around with the quarterbacks, I'm like, nah.
This is over.
It is.
Once you start, look, the saying is you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. That's the
good saying. It's a good saying.
Rams at Cardinals. This actually is shaping up to be a really interesting game, an NFC West showdown. This is tough, man. I don't know because the Rams had a nice bounce back win last week, but I think they come back down to earth here a little bit. I think Kyler Murray had a tough loss last week, and I think he's just so dynamic that the Rams have a very young defense, overperformed, pretty good but young. I think Kyler Murray's gonna be running around like a video game in this game, and he's gonna have. Look, I think he's gonna have himself a little day here. Maybe have himself a rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. I think Kyler Murray has a multi-touchdown game. Let's see Hollywood Brown get a little bit involved in this game. They're home, and look, it's gonna be close, probably like 21-20, but I'll take Cardinals here.
So you're riding the Murray way. You keep on going to ride
3 weeks in a row.
3
weeks in a row.
I mean, it paid off the first week, but
Didn't
not
pay
last
off.
week.
Yeah, it was close last week.
It was close last week.
It was close week 1, too, actually. Well, not week 1. What was it, week 9? It was close.
week 1 for him.
Yeah, Kyler week 1. What you got?
This is going to be a good game. This is divisional, right?
Yep.
It's going to be... All divisional games are usually a good game, except when you put the Giants and the Cowboys.
Or Bills-Jets.
Yes. I don't know. I don't care if Cooper Kupp is playing or not. They didn't have him all season, and they were just fine. They got Atwell the ball. They have a developing Puka Nacua. I think the Rams win this. I just think they just are a better overall team.
I don't disagree with that. Then they got the better coach.
Yeah.
I'll keep it. Ride Kyler. All right, Browns.
Ride Kyler.
Yeah, Browns Broncos. If Deshaun was playing, this would be a lot harder. This is still hard for me. Actually, it was like undecided for a little bit, but the Broncos are home and they're hot, man. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Bills, and now they've beaten the red hot Vikings. They know what they are. They like to run the ball well. Russell Wilson is playing within the system really well. He's having himself a really good season, over 100 passer rating. He almost has 20 touchdown passes. Javonte Williams has been playing well. Cortland Sutton has really come on in this offense.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the defense. Has been playing great. They got Surtain back there. Give me Broncos. That's all I'm going to say.
Damn, you just like to go against the Browns. You're a Browns hater. Browns hater here. Listen, I don't care what quarterback's back there. Joe Flacco, Joe Schmo. I don't care who it is. They're getting it done. The Browns are just an overall better team, even better than the Broncos. Even if you look at their defense, they have a better defense.
I do think the roster
their wide receivers, kind of the same.
I do think the Browns roster is better.
I don't know who has the better backs. Broncos.
It's pretty even. I guess
it's pretty even. Right?
Yeah, because Javonte Williams is a good player, but Ford and Hunt might match that. Look, I think the Browns have the better roster. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's close enough to where
it's just the quarterbacks that throw you off.
It's close enough to where the quarterback will make the difference in this game, in my opinion. I know you got Browns. I know you're in love with the Browns.
I am.
If you could marry 53-man roster, you would. So,
Myles Garrett, man. He's my guy.
I'm not sure if polyamory is legal there. Maybe I shouldn't say that because we might get canceled by the by the monogamists. So
yes, be careful. Be careful.
Bills, Eagles. You would think this would be closer than this is, but it probably will be close because the Eagles play close games. I like to play down the teams, but the Eagles are the best team in the league. Give me Eagles.
To be honest, I think this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are going to kick their doors in. They're just an overall better team. I mean, I know I keep saying that, but in this case, I'm completely right. The Bills just haven't been getting things together. I know they play up to good teams, too, and they play down to bad teams. So it's weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like in this situation, I think they're coming off. They're going to be a little inflated. They just beat the Jets. They have 29 points against the Jets. Woohoo.
No, but I get what you so like. I can see why you might think it's going to be a blowout.
And then the Eagles just played one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah,
so.
I can see why you think it might be a blowout, but the Eagles tend to like play in these close games. So somehow I feel like they'll find a way to make it close. Even though like I kind of like to see, I agree with both points. It could go either way. It could be a blowout or it might not. Regardless, there's going to be a scenario where the Eagles win. Whether the scenario is a blowout or a close game, we got the Eagles.
Like you were saying, they somehow win every game.
Somehow you look up.
They find a way.
Besides the Jets, which makes no sense, and they're probably
that makes zero sense. Looking back at it now, it makes zero sense.
It's because they kept throwing the ball when they had the lead. It's like run. They don't have a good run defense, but hindsight's 20/20 now.
Yes.
Chiefs, Raiders. Look, the Raiders have had a nice little run, and they're well coached now. It looks like, and they have a little fire on them. They play with a little fire under them, but the Chiefs are just a better team here, and they got to bounce back from last week. So I got Chiefs.
So I put down Raiders. I'm not sure if what I was thinking. I got to think about that twice.
What was your thought process?
I don't know what was. I'm trying to think what my thought process was. I want to say Raiders. No, give me Chiefs. I can't. I mean, especially after loss after like that. I don't know when the Chiefs are like. When you got like Chief doubters and Chief haters, that's usually when they come back firing. Travis Kelce had a terrible game. A lot of. They're just a good coaching staff where you can't see them losing 2 weeks in a row.
No, especially like bad. No, I agree. But it's funny. This isn't scripted, guys. This is candid. He didn't script that. He's just genuinely stupid. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, Sunday night, Ravens, Chargers. This is going to be a decent game. Ravens are just the better team. They know how to win close games. The Chargers don't. The Chargers find a way to blow every game that's close. So, like how do you lose a close game to the Packers and make Jordan Love look like an all-pro? So, give me Ravens here. Chargers are going to find a way to embarrass themselves. I'm sure they keep it close.
But, yeah, but another team that plays up to good opponents.
The Chargers, yes.
Yes.
100%.
So, I don't know. It should be an interesting one.
It will be.
Hopefully it's not a blowout. Sunday night game, you want it to be a good game.
Yeah.
I got the Ravens winning this. Just the way that things are going for the Ravens, the way that things are going for the Chargers.
Exactly.
You got to go to. You got to
go the Ravens here. So Monday night. Now this, It's going to be the Josh Dobbs game. Josh Dobbs is going to go. I think Josh Dobbs is going to have a big game here. The Bears defense has been a little bit improved, but I think the Vikings offense. I don't know. Now that they lost that game, like I feel like if they won that game, they might hold Justin Jefferson back one more week. But now since they lost, they're going to feel a sense of urgency. I think Justin Jefferson comes back. He's not playing.
No, he's not. He said he actually made this tweet. He's like, no, it was to a reporter. They're like, are you worried that all these people are in your DMs saying like, oh, when are you coming back? He's like, I'm gonna come back when I'm fully healthy. I am not worried about anybody else.
Oh wow, thanks,
yes.
Thanks, guy. So I'm going Bears. No, I'm kidding. I'm still going to go with the Vikings. Jordan Addison has really come on, and he could be a number one of his own one day.
Absolutely.
And Hawkinson actually didn't he have a nice touchdown
last
game?
He did. No, he had himself a game as well.
Josh Dobbs made some nice throws on the run. He made some nice runs. Running and just
he's becoming a very mobile quarterback.
Well,
making a lot of moves in the pocket.
He's a dual threat for sure, and he's a very smart guy. So I'm pretty sure now he probably has a good grasp of this playbook. So Kevin O'Connell is a really smart offensive coach. The Vikings have a very underrated defense. It's been a lot better this season. I think that's the difference here. I think the Vikings defense holds when they have to. Not saying they're going to hold them to 10 points, but they'll hold them to 20, 25, whatever it is. And the Vikings will get the win here. They'll go to 7-5, and they'll have a realistic shot at making the playoffs. So
yeah, this should be an interesting game. I'm excited to see what's going to come out. I'm getting the Vikings here regardless of the matter.
So Vikings all the way. We're not going to say skull because we're not Viking fans. So if you want to go do that, go to Minnesota and don't ask me.
Go freeze yourself to death.
But it is really cold there. Thursday Night Football parlay from last week.
Both of us, we would have both hit. And I was saying it going into it. I like these bets. These are solid bets. These are two good teams. We got this. So I had Lamar Jackson 40-plus rushing yards. He hit that, not a problem. He had 54 rushing yards. Then I had Gus Edwards 50-plus rushing yards. He, not a problem, 62 yards. Then I had Odell Beckham 25-plus receiving yards. He had that by a mile, 116 receiving yards. Then my last one that didn't hit, Mark Andrews, out for the season. I had him anytime touchdown. He's not getting any touchdowns for the rest of the season. He is not.
So I had Joe Mixon anytime touchdown, that hit. I had Ravens money line, that hit. Ravens won 34-20. I had Odell Beckham over 26.5 receiving yards. That hit. He had 116, like Dylan just said.
By a mile.
And then I had Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He had one.
And he won't have one for the rest of the season.
Out for the season. Boom. So me and Dylan lost because we had injuries. And this stuff happens. But
be careful betting.
This wasn't guaranteed. Now they still both needed to get a touchdown. It's not like these were yards. They both had to get a touchdown, but it was very likely they would have happened, especially in the Joe Burrow case. He would have definitely had another touchdown pass, in my opinion. Mark Andrews
would have hit.
Always finds the end zone. Mark Andrews. So. Oh, that was rough for us. I would like to count that as a win, but I don't think that's how it works. So it's called 4 for 4, not 3 for partially 4.
I mean, listen, sometimes they void the bet, but that's usually like right if he went out there like
Rodgers.
They voided that.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was in a situation it was like halfway through.
No. So this Thanksgiving we have. Now, usually we do a 4-leg parlay for one game on Thursday night. We have 3 games. So what we're going to do a 6-leg parlay. The rule is, now you have to have minus 200 and under, like usual. Mm-hmm. Well, under minus 200, not including minus 200. So it has to be under minus 200. You can't have it minus 200 for a bet. Now, the other rule is you have to pick at least one leg from each of the 3 games. So you could, it has to be at least one in each game. So you could do 1-3-2 or 2-2-2 or 1-3-1. It doesn't matter. It has to be at least one from each game. So I'll go first. Lions, Packers. I have one leg from this one. I have Lions minus 4.5. I think it's an easy number right there. I think the Lions are going to win by at least a touchdown. Last time they played the Packers, they dominated them. And now you have the Lions. I'm pretty sure the Lions are home here now, so definitely give me the Lions in this one, minus 4.5. Commanders, Cowboys. I have 2 legs for this one. I have Sam Howell, 250-plus passing yards. And for that one, look, Sam Howell's leading the league in passing yards.
That's an interesting one.
It's a little interesting because the Cowboys have a very good secondary, but Sam Howell's leading the league in passing yards. And I think in this game, I think Dallas is going to be kind of leading this game constantly, so they're going to be playing catch-up.
So he's going to be playing from behind. I see where you're coming from.
Playing catch-up, so I think he'll hit that. Dak Prescott, 2+ passing touchdowns. He's definitely going to get one to CeeDee Lamb.
So I like that, just for the fact that they don't have a run game going. Tony Pollard doesn't really do much there.
And the Commanders secondary, what are they? Swiss cheese. So Dak Prescott, 2+ passing touchdowns. For the 49ers Seahawks, I got 3 legs for this one. I got 49ers minus 3.5. Like I said, I think it's going to be a bigger. I think the Niners are going to win bigger than people think. George Kittle, 40-plus receiving yards. He's gotten that 4 weeks in a row, at least 40 receiving yards. So he's been on a tear. And Tyler Lockett, 40-plus receiving yards. I'm pretty sure he averages more than that for the season. So I think those are pretty solid bets right there. The Niners secondary is a little weaker than past seasons. So give me that. Give me that. Give me that. What do you got?
I like the 49ers 3.5. I took their spread last week, and I went all the way with that. I think I did 13.5.
They got it, right?
They got it, yeah.
Oh, no, it was 13.
Listen, that didn't hit either way, but
it was exactly 13. That's funny.
If it came down to that, I would have been very upset.
Yeah. So what are your 6 legs?
So my picks. So first one, let's start with the Packers-Lions game. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, 80-plus receiving yards. Now, this guy's an absolute stud. He's just been, he's up there for top 10 wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe even top 5. I don't know. We got to do top 10 wide receivers soon because there's some good ones out there.
It's a lot of receiving yards.
That is. Not for him. He's got it. So my next one, I had 2 for this game. My next one is David Montgomery, 60-plus rushing yards. Now, I was talking about it before. He's just been another phenomenal running back. And, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, he had over 100 rushing yards. Last week, I think he had 77. Come on. He's got this, And it's kind of weird, him and Swift, I did it again. Him and Gibbs, they have a good dynamic duo going, but I feel like David Montgomery's he takes more of the load.
He's the one, for sure.
For the next one, in the Commanders and Cowboys, I have Brandon Cook, 40-plus receiving yards, and he's been coming on. He started off very slow. Hasn't really seen any targets in the beginning of the season, but he's been coming on more and more recently. I think 2 games ago he had over 100-plus receiving yards. So against this Commanders team, I think they're going to be hitting all their targets and hitting everyone. My next one, I have Jahan Dotson for 25-plus receiving yards, and another one where there's not really many good receivers besides Terry McLaurin on the Commanders, so they usually spread the love a lot, and especially since they're going to be playing catch-up against the Cowboys, I can see him getting 25-plus. I'm pretty sure he hit this in, more than half the games.
He's pretty explosive, so he can get that on one catch.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he, too, had a 100 receiving yard game, so I can definitely see him hitting that. For the next one, I did 2, and 2. So my next 2 are in the 49ers and Seahawks game. I have Brandon Ayuk, another Brandon Ayuk for 60-plus receiving yards.
Your brother's Brandon, so you got a lot of Brandons.
A lot of Brandons going on.
Shout out Brandon.
Shout out Brandon. So Brandon Ayuk has just been, I don't know. We talked about this before. He's just they always hit him on the deep pass. He's always having an explosive play. So this is another one. I can see him getting this in one play.
Well, the thing is, Debo's the more explosive guy, but he's technically the number 1 wide receiver, Ayuk.
Yeah.
So he gets the ball a lot.
It's weird enough.
It's some weird dynamic they got going on there.
They do. One week, you'll have Ayuk going off. One week, you'll have Kittle going off. One week, you'll have Debo going off.
Now, lately, they've all been going off. Last 2 games, they all went off.
In fantasy, I was a little worried. I'm like, I have 2 wide receivers or 2 backs and 2 players, and I don't know which one's going to get the love. They both get it.
Just put them both in.
Yeah, exactly. So my last leg is going to be Brock Purdy, 250 passing yards. And for this one, he had 330 last week. He's just been on a tear. He's a great back. He's a great quarterback. I think he's going to keep it going. I don't know. It's not even like they get their running game going with Christian McCaffrey. They get Christian McCaffrey going, but they pass him the ball too. He's more of a receiving back. So I can easily see a lot of these yards be receiving.
Well, it could, McCaffrey at any point could take a screen 40 yards to the house. That's 40 yards right there. So
exactly.
And the Seahawks defense, they have 2 good corners, but their secondary is not, Jamal Adams is more of a blitzer. He's not really a great coverage guy. So I can see this happening for sure. So let's repeat for the Thanksgiving games. For Lions Packers, I have Lions minus 4.5. For Commanders Cowboys, I have Sam Howell 250 plus passing yards. I have Dak Prescott 2+ passing touchdowns. 49ers Seahawks, I have Niners minus 3.5. George Kittle 40+ receiving yards, and Tyler Lockett 40+ receiving yards.
So my picks are going to be in the Packers and Lions. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown with 80+ receiving yards. David Montgomery 60+ rushing yards. In the Commanders and Cowboys, I have Brandon Cook 40+ receiving yards. Jahan Dotson with 25+ receiving yards. And then in the 49ers and Seahawks game, I have Brandon Ayuk 60+ receiving yards and Brock Purdy 250 passing yards.
Guys, hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. We're getting into holidays. Look, usually Thanksgiving on, this is when the real football starts. Cold weather, playoff battles. People are going to be fighting for their lives, fighting for their careers, fighting for playoff spots, coaching, fighting for their jobs. This is going to get real fun and real fights.
It absolutely is. I'm excited. From here on out, it is actual football.
Actual football,
no more
baby.
BS.
Let's go.
Let's go.
See you guys next week.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.